Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. You get fairy dust. I get fairy dust. Little Amelie gets fairy dust. She's back there in the therapist chair. I have a question for Ask an Advanced Bitch. That's me. Um, I married the love of my life in October of 2021. We share an incredible connection and a very deep bond. In October of 2022, he lost his mother to suicide. 1 month ago, he asked me for a divorce out of the blue. He says he loves me. There will never be another. He just cannot be married anymore. I'm devastated. I guess I'm just wondering, does he mean this or is he pushing me away as a symptom of grief? I am so sorry for you and for him. Um, that is so devastating and I have no words, except for I'm sorry. Um, The trouble is, we have no way of knowing whether someone else's behavior is a result of something that they're experiencing. It is possible that he is pushing you away because of grief. Um, that's possible, and he's still pushing you away. One of the things, so I've written two books. I've written the Irreverent Grief Guide and the Irreverent Trust Guide. And I'm imagining you asked me this question, which thank you very much for asking, um, because of the grief book. But the other book is a book about relationships and trust and how we know what to do in relationships based on the other person's behavior. And so when someone is saying something like this to us, number one, it's already done. Whether you stay together or not, or whatever happens, he has already done this devastating thing to your relationship. And it's unfortunate and sad and hard. And 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 we have to take it at face value. It is true. People do, they can make big changes after grief, after they experience a death. And with a traumatic death, like somebody who dies from suicide, and that's the mother, it's traumatic and it's in very, very intense grief. When you first get sober, they say don't make any big changes for the first year. And I've heard the same thing after grief, like don't make any big, big changes until after a year. And, when someone comes to see me as a client, and I'm working as a grief counselor, I don't hold anybody to any rules, because how do I know a geographical cure isn't actually what they need right now? Maybe that is the solution. And then there's sometimes where a big change has to happen because there's been a financial change or something because of a death. And so, you know, it really is about, for me, when I do not know what to do, in this case, I wouldn't lean toward my grief book, I would lean toward my trust book. And he is telling us with his words, and I'm assuming now with his behaviors, that he's just saying he can't do this for whatever reason. A lot of times people will, like I said, they will make a big change after a death, because it could be because they're going to do a big change because of a coping mechanism, but they could be making a big change because it's something that they realize inside their identity, that a grief has just brought it to the surface. And, he's saying, like, I can't be married. And so again, it is possible, but when someone behaves a certain way toward me, I have to take them at their behavior. I have to take them at the facts that I'm dealing with. And I may, I'm psychologically minded, so I'm going to be like, isn't this injury? I wonder if it's grief. I wonder if it's this. I wonder if it's that. I wonder that. In the end, it doesn't matter. I have to respect someone else's boundaries in the end. And so I can be empathetic, and I'm sure that you are, and I'm sure you're very confused. And also you suffered a loss. You've suffered this loss as well, and now it's combined, that you may suffer the loss of your relationship. Um, and so for me, the reason I have my tools as somebody who is a trauma survivor, the reason I have my tools is that when life serves up just some bullshit, something really hard, something that sucks, something that I don't want to deal with, something very, very painful, I know that I can't fully trust what might be coming up for me. I can trust it more than I used to because I'm more healed. But for me, when I don't know what to do, when I'm overwhelmed, because I might have a tendency to, we all have a tendency to regress when something very painful happens and functioning goes down. Is that I have to go back to my tools. And one of my tools is the ladder of trust. And when someone says they don't want to be married anymore, for me, it doesn't really matter the reason. The reason is going to how I deal with the aftermath, like the reason, and maybe I'll never get a real reason. And a lot of times people will tell us things because they think that's the least painful thing that we can hear, or they'll tell us things because they really believe that's the reason. Like he really believes like he can't be married anymore after this thing happened. Um, so it could be that he really, who knows if it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sorry about that. We'll edit that out. What minute is this? No one knows. Um, okay. So, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I have to deal with the facts that are in front of me, and somebody's telling me that is the love of my life. That's a wonderful connection and bond, is that they don't want to be married anymore. And as devastating as it is, I have to respect someone's boundaries. And this might be one of those terrible cases of if you love it, set it free, And I'm so, so sorry. So the answer to your question is it's fully possible. Sorry about that. It's fully possible. And the that it is fully possible that it is a grief thing, and yet it is happening. Now, he might tell you at some point, oh shit, I fucked up, like I was grieving, and you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. That's what I thought. But that's not going to change that behavior wise. Now we know when this person goes through something severe, they might have a desire to leave. Like they might just have like a flight mode desire, or isolating desire, or just to have no commitments desire. Who knows? Again, it's not our business. We can't read minds about why someone's behaving the way that they do. If it is grief, it's completely understandable. We still don't like it. But what we have to do is get really clear about what are my boundaries and respecting someone else's boundaries. So I am so sorry. I mean, it's just a tragic question all around. And I'm so sorry you've had to go through this and that you are going through it. And I'm just sending you and him, so much love and compassion for just having to endure this pain and these losses. So I hope that's helpful, just to get some clarity on. Remember, the other tools are like, let's do the next right thing, like what, one day at a time, do the next right thing one day at a time. So I hope that's helpful. Love you. Bye.